This guy, how do I block him off? Hi, my name is Mark Essen. I'm creative director at Messhof. We made Nidhogg in 2014, and this past year we put out Flywrench, and today I made a Mario Maker level. I think I came in wanting to make an air control level, like a level that was sort of based on the flying, the cape from Super Mario World, or bouncing off enemies midair. So I started trying to draw pathways for different kinds of cannons to go on, and they could jump from one path to another. And then I realized that in the Mario games, enemies only exist when they're close enough to you, so we had a lot of syncing problems. And then I just was playing around with just the way the cape controls, like the way you can turn around sometimes if you're going slow enough, and then just totally reverse course. And what happens when you hit enemies in different states of the cape, like if you're dive bombing and you hit an enemy, you turn into that spinning mode. I went with the Super Mario World skin because that's just what I'm familiar with. I think it looks the best. I like that palette. I grew up playing with that version of the game. Yeah, I liked making the sort of non sequitur between worlds screen underwater, and just having that look a little bit crazy compared to the rest of it. But in terms of the control itself, I've always liked flying games, and just games where you're subtly changing your momentum over the course of like a long level. So I mean, this game it probably connected most to Flywrench, and like the way you control the Flywrench is you do these little flaps that barely change your momentum, but over time you end up in a different trajectory and you can bounce off the wall. It's in the right place. I think the level editor in Mario Maker is pretty awesome. The one thing that I was having trouble with is the way they treat the stylus as, it's not really treated like a mouse, so things like multi-object selection, I would think would just be, you know, if you drag a box, it should understand that you're trying to drag a box, and you shouldn't have to hold a button down to drag a box, and that kind of thing. But otherwise, it seemed pretty easy. It took us like 5 minutes to get started, so. I don't think it's as difficult as the other levels I was playing, like the random ones. I played on 100 Mario modes, so I think it's forgiving to a certain extent, and you just have to remember that you can gain height by flaring at the right time, and you can actually turn around as you're beginning your flight.